Hello, everyone. Welcome to this free class tonight. We're going to talk about investing, we're going to talk about the stock market, and we're going to talk about what is holding you back, why you are not getting ahead financially. I hear this so often. I really wanted to get on here and talk about it tonight because it's important. Because let's face it, times are hard, inflation is creeping, and the stock market is dropping, and we're all trying to figure out what are we doing, how can we get ahead. So I'm having this class tonight so we can talk about it. It's so important. So if you are new here, I want to hear in the comments, where do you live? All right, where are you chiming in from? Today is April 26th. It's 5:30. Shout out for starting on time tonight, right? And getting this education. So put in the chat, let me know where you are chiming in from, and I want to know if this is your first live class with me. I want to know. So let's hear it in the chat. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Gonna have a good time. Let's get our slides going. Everybody is getting online. France, what? That's crazy. Awesome. Thank you for being on with us tonight. Greetings from Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, that's not very far from me, Memphis. Who else do we have? Knoxville, first class. All right, Angie, first class. Awesome. Oh, Kentucky, my first class, first live class. Oh my gosh. So, because we've been doing these live classes all year in April. Actually, we did 2 live classes here in April. So I'm excited about that. Okay, Karen, this is your second time. Good. Another first timer. Awesome. So we're just chiming in, letting us know where you're from. If this is your first class, welcome. If it is your first class, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're listening. I want you to know that you can ask me anything. Let's put in the chat. I will answer questions as I go through, and at the end, obviously, I'll have more time to answer questions. But there are a few things that I want to jump into that I think are really going to hit home for you. There's somebody from Indianapolis. Okay, Kelly, that's my hometown. That's where I'm originally from. I grew up on the west side. I went to Northwest when it was a high school. I don't even know. I know they had closed it for a while. I don't even know if it's still a school, or maybe they changed it to a middle school. So that's pretty exciting. We've got California, first class, Detroit. All right, second live. Okay, so that's good. So if you're coming back, you actually learned some good information. So good. So we're going to talk about that today. And today I actually have some really good investing examples to show you, depending on how much money you invest for 20 years, how fast you can become a millionaire. So you're going to like that too. All right, so let me get the slides pulled up here on the screen. All right. Welcome everybody who is just coming in. Let's see, how do I want to arrange the slides? How did we like this last time? Okay. All right, we'll do this. We'll move it around. Well, it just depends on how I feel. Sometimes I'll make it smaller. Other times I'll make it larger. How about that? All right. So again, this is an interactive session. It is live. I'm actually talking to you right now. I know sometimes you get on these calls with people and they say that they're live, and you know they're clearly not live. But I like to interact. So please do communicate with me so that we can we can make the most of this time. We want to actually spend the time together. Let's actually communicate. And we will be giving away a book bundle. That's something new we started doing. So make sure you're paying attention, because I will be shipping somebody a book bundle. And so we'll do that towards the end of the class. But make sure you're paying attention, because I'm going to ask some questions, and make sure you're listening so that you can win this book bundle. All right. All right, we've got some Arizonians in the house. Okay, okay. All right, I love it. All right. So let's get started. So tonight's class is all about why you're not getting ahead financially. And as I mentioned before, I hear this a lot from people. They say, "Oh, I am, I just can't figure out why I'm not getting ahead. Now I make more money. I made more money than I've ever made, and I'm still not getting ahead. It just doesn't make sense." So I want to talk about that because there are a lot of good reasons why. All right. So let's get into it. Okay, so first, let me just tell you who I am. And I know some of you have been here before, so I'll make it brief. But some of you who are new, I really need you to know that I'm just like you. All right, I know you have seen me on Tamron Hall Show, or you've seen me on Good Morning America, or you've seen me these places, and you must think, oh my goodness, she has it all figured out. She must come from money. Maybe her family is wealthy. No, I come from humble beginnings, to say the least. All right. My mother, that's her there with me when I was just a toddler. My mother had me at 17 years old. My father was, I think he had just maybe turned 18. He might have been 17 as well at the time. But they were teens and they were trying to figure out life. And we didn't have much, right? We didn't have much. And my mother ended up dropping out of high school so that she could care for me. My father went on to the Marines once he did graduate high school so that he could try to make a good life for us. But life was really hard for my parents. Obviously, think about being a teenager and having a child. So I was passed on to different family members, and it really took a village to raise me, but we didn't have much. I mean, I was really one of the first ones in my family to go to college. In my line of parents, I was the first one to go to college. And I had a cousin, a distant cousin, not distant, but a cousin who did go to college before me a little bit, but I didn't really know what college was like, how to go, how to get in. I was figuring all that out. And so I was really thankful for a nonprofit in Indianapolis that was hosting a Black college tour. So I went on this Black college tour really to kind of get out of Indiana for the spring break because life was really stressful for me. I started working at 14 to help support myself. I mean, again, my parents, they didn't have much, but I wasn't even really living with them most of my life. I was living with grandmothers and aunts and uncles and cousins and basically wherever there was an extra room they could take in Kiki. So life was tough. All right. So I want y'all to know that I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be on government assistance. I know what that block of government cheese is like. Thank God they don't give that out anymore. But food stamps, I know what all this that is like. So I just want everybody listening who can hear me to know that I have been there. So when you see today where I am and how I retired at 41 from full-time work, I want you to know that was me pulling up from my bootstraps and having family that loved me and would always tell me, Kiki, you can do it. You can do whatever you put your mind to. So that's how I started. So I did retire at 41 years old, and let's see if I can move this around bigger for you. There we go. And at 41, this was last year in 2021, but I had accomplished so much because as women, especially Black women, we're taught go to school, go to school, go to college, get as much education as you can so you can make more money. So I did that. I got my bachelor's, my master's, my PhD, and a Six Sigma black belt. I did all of that. I did everything I could do, and I still was just barely breaking 100K a year at towards the end of my working years. So my average salary for working was $77,000, and I know some of you can relate. When I graduated college with my bachelor's, I started at a salary of $44,000 as a technology generalist. That's what basically a computer science degree. So as you can tell, I was not a millionaire. My jobs did not give me tons and tons of money, but it was what I was able to do with the money that I did earn that got me where I am today. All right. All right, so let's get into it because I see the chat is kind of quiet again. So remember, y'all gotta stay interactive so I know that you're there. Would you like to be healthier, wealthier, and happier? Which one of those, if you had to pick one, which one would you choose? Healthier, wealthier, happier. Which one? Obviously you want all three, and I'm going to teach you how to do all three. But if you had to pick one right now in your life, where would you be? Drop that in the chat, because it's important to think about what your goals are and to be intentional. If you're not intentional about where you want to be, then you'll always just simply have, oh, I wish this was me, or I wish that was me, and man, I wish my life was like this, or it can lead you into being depressed. And I've been there, I've dealt with anxiety. So I know what that's like. I still deal with anxiety at times. Lord have mercy. When I was going on that Terry Hall show, I thought I was going to lose my mind from the anxiety around it. But in all seriousness, being healthy, happy, and wealthy is your right. It's your God-given right to be healthy, happy, and wealthy. And I know God wants that for us. So let's see, what are we saying in the chat? Happy, which means I am healthy and wealthy. I like that. All right, I like that. It's like a prerequisite, right? If I know if I'm happy, then I'm healthy and wealthy. Wealthier, we want to be wealthier. We want to be healthier. Thank you, Latrice. We want to be healthier. Healthier if I had to choose. Wealthier, yes. So the good thing is you can have all three. All right. You can't have all three. And I was able to do that by achieving FIRE, which is financial independence, retire early. Y'all, I'm telling you, I worked in corporate at Caterpillar Financial, trying to move up that corporate ladder, busting my butt, working long hours, working on weekends, on call, just constantly working for Caterpillar. And it paid my salary. It gave me a life to live. I was able to buy a house, right? The American dream. But it took a lot out of me. It was stressful. It was stressful. And then when I became a professor, I thought for sure I was going to have less stress. Boy, was I wrong, because COVID hit and then we were teaching online. So, first of all, as a professor, you already have all these challenges because you have to do research. And if you don't do research, you're going to get fired. And that's the part nobody talks about outside of the academic realm, is that you have to do research. And when you do the research, that's your currency as being a professor, is how much research you have. It's not about exactly how great of a teacher you are. I'm sure many of you know that because you know that you've had some bad teachers, right? But long story short, with that, I still had the stress. I still had more and more students, hundreds of students a semester, hundreds of grading papers. It was still a lot. Working for somebody else is a lot. Let's face it. It just is. And so I knew in 2017, with all the stress I was having at work, and then I was going through a divorce, I knew for a fact I had to make a change in my life, because going through a divorce, and if anybody's been through any kind of disruption in your life like a divorce, you know what that feels like. It's like you can never get ahead. It's like no matter what you do, here comes something else. Can anybody relate? Like, soon as I get this under control, now look at this. Oh, now I got to do this. Now I got to do that. I mean, just the adulting alone is a lot. So I learned about FIRE when I was going through my divorce, because I realized that now I had this one income, and I really didn't want to keep struggling with life in that way, like not being able to work out, not having all the money I wanted to travel the way I wanted to, not having the time because I was always working. So I needed a different solution. So when I got divorced, I decided to sell the family house. That enabled me to have this lump sum of about $35,000. And I said, what can I do with this money? Now, mind you, at that time, I was in my 30s, in my mid 30s, okay? And I had about $125,000 total in my retirement accounts, cash, everything. That's what I had, about 125K. Well, what I learned is at that age, in my mid 30s, I realized I'm going nowhere fast. If this is all I have in my mid 30s, am I ever going to retire? Am I ever going to be financially ahead, which is the topic of tonight? How do you get financially ahead? I realized I was not going to do it. It wasn't going to happen for me. So, Googling what to do, I learned that there was something called FIRE. It's called Financial Independence Retire Early. Okay. And FIRE basically says while you're working, don't spend all the money. Don't just save 10%. You heard, oh, just make sure you save 10% of your income. Well, that means if you're saving 10% of your income, then you're spending 90% of it. How long do you think it's going to take you to retire? And that's why you see so many people who are in their 60s, and I'm sure there are probably some on this call because every time we do it, I get outreach from men and women who are in their 60s who want to retire but can't retire because, and they're still working because they weren't able to be knowledgeable enough to put more ahead, or because they didn't have enough to put ahead. So they were only putting the 10% or less, which by definition means you're going to work until that 65, 70 years old. All right. And if you don't want to work till 65 or 70, you have to do more today. Okay. You have to do more today. The average person who usually is on these calls and is in my program or works with me is around 40 years old. And 40 years old is still plenty enough time to learn the fundamentals so that you can get ahead and retire even still early. All right, so here's where I was before I started FIRE, Financial Independence, Retire Early. So I was no longer interested in climbing the corporate ladder. Can anybody relate? Right? I wanted to spend more time on things I wanted to spend time on. I wanted to understand financials, personal finance. I have a bachelor's, master's, PhD, and a Six Sigma black belt, and I'll tell you, I've never taken one single personal finance class with all that education. It was never offered, never offered. So I was contributing up to the match of about 5%, and then my employer was putting in 5%, so that was my 10%. And I felt duped because I was told that that's what you need to do for retirement. But when I was going through my divorce and selling the house, and then I had this lump sum of money, and I'm thinking, what do I need to do with it? And I looked at my retirement accounts. I was like, I'll never retire at the rate I'm going. And so that's when I got really serious about getting ahead financially. All right. So I know everybody here, they want to get ahead financially. So tell me what your biggest distress is. Okay. Tell me what your biggest distress is when it comes to money. Is it that you don't know what to do? Is it that you don't have enough? You feel like? Is it that you don't know how to manage the money? What is it? I really honestly want to know. While y'all are putting that in the chat, I'm going to talk about some things that I came up with and that I hear a lot of. And I'm going to talk about those while you pop your things in the chat. And then we're going to discuss those. Okay. So, in terms of what's holding you back, why you're not getting ahead financially, inflation. All right, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you're not budgeting. No, things cost a lot more money. That's hands down number one. You likely still have the same job you had 2 years ago, or maybe not because of the pandemic. But if you have the same job, you may still be making the same money, even if you have a different job. But inflation means that things you typically would buy are now more money. All right. And that's why the stock market is losing its mind because of this whole inflation. Things are costing way more. Okay. So, for example, I'm a big Aldi advocate. Everybody who's heard me before knows that. I have a video on my YouTube about shopping at Aldi. Before the pandemic and in recent years, a dozen eggs at Aldi, 44 cents. All right, 44 cents for a dozen. I would buy 3 dozen eggs. We ate a lot of eggs. But then during the pandemic, I saw the prices increases. I mean, we everybody knows what was happening. And then right after the pandemic, this was last year, around last summer, I noticed that the price of eggs were $1.49. And I think by the time I did my video, the cost of eggs may have been close to $2. I just went to Aldi yesterday to grocery shop, and I kid you not, a dozen eggs is $2.49. That's a huge increase. Now we're just talking about eggs. So you're thinking, why is she making a big deal about eggs? It's that's just one example, but everything around you, you see the gas prices, you see the housing prices, but don't just look at the big ticket items. Look at the small things that you have to buy on a daily basis. We just got a pet. Lord, I went and got another mouth to feed, right? But so far we're getting to love the little animal, the little cat. But that's another mouth to feed, and his food is expensive. And I can't imagine, what how his food is going to increase. All of our food costs is increasing. Necessities, soap, toothpaste, toilet paper, everything is increasing. So when that's happening, okay, you have to realize that is less spending power than you have, and it's less investing power. So we've got to talk about some ways tonight to help you hedge against those rising inflation costs. Okay. I love this from Karen. Agreed. I went to KFC on Sunday and spent $51 on 16 pieces of chicken. That is insane for KFC. $51. That's crazy. That is insane. I'm not surprised. I am not at all surprised. Okay, so the next thing, and keep dropping them in the chat because we're going to go through your things that you're talking about. Yes, inflation is so real. All right, the second thing is your upbringing. How many of you can relate to this? When I was growing up, we worked. The people in my family worked 2 and 3 jobs. I've started working at 14. I've had dozens of jobs. And I was taught to save. Always save a little bit, honey. Always put a little bit to the side. Keep a little bit under your mattress. You got to save for a rainy day. And God bless my grandmother's soul for telling me that. But she didn't know about investing. She just knew about saving. And when you're saving money, when inflation is increasing, your money's moving against you. Okay, it's moving against you, and not having multiple streams of income is working against you. So that's the third one. So first one is inflation is working against you. 2, your upbringing of saving money, that's working against you as well, because whenever it's about saving, you're never going to save enough. Excuse me. No one is telling you, excuse me, let me grab my water. No one is going to tell you that you should be saving 30% of your income, 40% of your income. Nobody's telling you that. They may tell you to save $100 here, $100 there. So you don't know because no one has told you. So you have to save more to build up that emergency fund. So when something happens, you do have that money under the mattress or in a bank. But you have to then invest in something that's going to give you a return, a higher return than your savings account. Does that make sense? You have to, because inflation is increasing. It's eating away at your dollar. I used to buy a dozen eggs for 44 cents. That $1 could buy 2 dozen. Now that $1 won't buy any eggs at all. It just a couple of years later. So you have to put your money in something that's going to give you more money back. And you need to have multiple streams of income, period. All right. You got to have multiple streams of income. All right. So let's look and see. Let me go here. Let's see what you have in the chat. All right. I do save, but I'd like to learn how to invest without having to. Now that's what I'm talking about. You do not want to have a second or third job. You do want to have multiple streams of income. And I'm going to talk to you about that because one of the things you can do is write a book. People are really intimidated. They think, oh, I could never write a book. You can write a book. Or if it's not a book, you could create some work of art from your talents that you could then sell to help you create additional income. Okay, so that's important. Do I have enough? Right, exactly. That's a big question. How to manage the money better, paying off debt and investing. Okay. Don't have enough and how to manage it. Oh, that's we're gonna get into that. Not enough. We're gonna definitely talk about that because you're right. With inflation and same jobs, you kind of are outgrowing your salary. Want to learn how to invest. So I'm going to talk to you about that, how to do that. Let's see what else you have in here. Paying off student loans, how to invest. Dr. Sonia, you definitely can do both. You can be paying off your student loans and investing at the same time. And when we get to part 2 in my 3 parts to get ahead, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. Paying off student loans, big one. Okay, working multiple jobs now. Yeah, we want to get, if you're going to work multiple jobs, make sure that you can make that money work for you, right? So we're going to talk about that, bring in additional funds, how to invest. All right. Those are some really good feedback. Thank you. I want to talk to you about Alice's story just by way of example, because I can sit here and tell you about my story all day, but it doesn't always go go across as well as somebody else's story. So this is Allison. Allison was like us. She knew nothing about investing. So she started coming to my lives, and then she decided to get into the Wealthy Achiever program. She was saving 0%. Zero. All right. Nothing. When I say nothing, I mean nothing. Okay. 0%, people. But now she has learned, and she's explaining it to her dad about personal finance. And he's a Stanford grad because guess what? Remember, I told you that I went and achieved all this education and no one actually taught me about personal finance. I'm sure the same thing is happening at Stanford. So she liked how I explained things in simple terms, even a novice could understand. She had some big plans for some side hustle books because I taught her exactly how easy it is to publish your own book. And many of you know, especially if you saw me on Tamara Hall, that I have a book. My son wrote a book. He's 10. He wrote the story. He imagined what the images should look like. We hired an illustrator. Didn't cost much money at all. And we self-published his book. All right. So this is his book. Divorce, 7 Keys to Making It Through Your Parents' Divorce. So Allison is also, she's got 2 books she's writing. She's a teacher. All right. She's a school teacher, and she plans to have them finished by the end of the summer. That's going to be additional income for her. She's also now investing 10% of her income within just 4 weeks. And she's planning to get that up to 20% within 3 months. That drastically reduces the number of years you have to work when you're investing. And the type of investing that she's doing and that I do is for the long term. And long term is more than 1 year. So this is not day trading. This is not crypto. This is not a get rich quick. This is a comprehensive way to manage your money, which many of you said you want to learn how to do. So that's what she learned how to do. And I just love sharing Allison's story because I think it's going to help you understand what's possible. So here's where I am now. I still live very lean in terms of cost. I didn't go buy a huge 5-bedroom house again that I sold. Got a really modest townhouse. I love where I live. It's a walkable neighborhood. I get to work out most days. I can work out every day, but some days I just don't. But I work out most days and I feel really healthy, which is the important part. Obviously, I'm financially independent. I travel 1 to 2 times a month. I just dropped my New York video. We're in a blended family. So my husband, he has a child. I have 2 boys. So we have 3 together. So all 5 of us went up to New York. We had a blast. I love to dress us alike. So you'll see us in our matching outfits. And I'm just loving life. I'm coaching others. Every other month or so, I do the Wealthy Achiever program. I'm going to take the summer off, though. We're not going to be doing any Wealthy Achiever in the summer, just so I can really travel the world, take the boys everywhere, getting their passports renewed. And I have multiple streams of income, which everybody should have. Everybody on this call, I want you to have multiple streams of income, and we can talk about that. Actually, I did. That was the February video, the February live. I did 15 smart ways to create additional income. All right, it didn't require any Uber driving. Okay, so definitely go check that out later. Make yourself a note in your notebook. Okay, so why should you plan to retire early? Because retiring early it's more of about being financially ready to retire early. Okay, it's about financial independence, and then you can do whatever you want with your time. If some people would say, well, you're not really retired if you're on this call right now. I'm on this call because I really like doing this and I really love to teach. I have a PhD. I left a teaching job and I miss it, and I love teaching. So no matter what, I'm going to always do this, no matter what. But at some point, you will get tired of working. Trust me. It may not be today. You may love your job. I have friends that say, oh, Keisha, I love my job. Girl, I don't need what you're doing. Thank you, though, because I love my job. You may love it today. You may not always love it, or you may have some disruption or disaster that happens. I just got off a call with a woman today, and she told me, she said, my mother is aging and I'm going to have to move her in with me. And that's going to be a financial disruption in my life. That's happening. Our parents are getting older, and we're going to have to start taking on more of the financials for them to help them. You want to be in a position where you can do what you need to do, okay, to take care of your family. You don't want to be in a position where you can't take care of someone because you have to go to work. That's going to make you feel bad. So you don't want to do that. You want to be financially ready, and you deserve it. You deserve to be wealthy. Okay? But I'm afraid I'll lose money. What I teach, what I'm going to be teaching you here in a few minutes, is a comprehensive plan. And some people come to me and they say, oh, I don't want all that. I just want to learn how to invest in stock market. That's all I want. That's not what I do. I'm not only going to teach you that. I can teach you that, but I just don't think it's going to serve you well in how to reduce your current expenses to save you at least 10% of what you already bring in, right? So that you can have money to actually invest. I don't want you to just say, oh, I got an extra $100 I want to invest. I got an extra $500 I want to invest. No, I want us to have a plan. I want you to have your own complete financial plan that is not only determined only by the stock market. I just think that would be a disservice. I want you to know how to do budgeting, your retirement accounts at work, how to reduce your expenses, how to create more income for yourself. It's a complete financial plan. That's what I want you to do. I've heard people say, oh, it sounds hard. But what else have you done that you accomplished that was hard? Everybody on here is well accomplished. And I know you've done things that you didn't think you could do, and you did it. It's just making a decision that you want to make a change for your life. Okay? You don't want to simply say it sounds too hard, I can't do it. Don't count yourself out. You're resilient. You've been through so much. Your story, I know for a fact, I'm not the only one that's been through something. I know I'm not the only one that's been through childhood trauma. I know I'm not the only one that been through a divorce. I know I'm not the only one that hated my job. I know I'm not the only one. I know you've been there and you've done it. So this is an opportunity to learn what you need to do so you can get where you want to be. I like what this one says, this comment. Even if you have more money, if you're not able to manage it, still feel like you don't have enough. Amen, somebody. Let me tell you what, I know people who make $200,000 a year living paycheck to paycheck, will never retire. I know doctors. I know lawyers. I have quite a few lawyers that actually end up in the Wealthy Achiever program. And I always understand, like, how is a lawyer in here? But I don't judge, obviously. But it's because even though we make more money, if you don't learn that first part, the budgeting, and we can give it a new word if we want to. If y'all want us to come up with a new word, we don't want to call it a budget, we want to call it a spending plan or whatever we want to call it. We can do that. But we got to learn how to manage the money. Maybe we just call it the manage money section. So first we teach you how to manage your money. That has to be step number one, so you can reduce the expenses that you already have. And second, you can create more income. Those all go with budget. And then how exactly to manage that each month when you're actually spending money. All right. So let's talk about it. Budget bestie. That's what I call it. Budget bestie. If you want to call it manage your money bestie, we can do that too. All right. I love that. All right. All right. So let's go to budget bestie. So here's how you manage your money. This is how I manage my money. And this has worked well for me. So when I was going through my divorce, I said, I got to get serious about this. So I have two things. All right. This is where it gets good. So if you don't have a pen, grab you a pen so you'll write this down for later. First one is I use a Google Sheets. In this Google Sheets, I have at the top my income. So when I get my pay stub, I start at the very top, what the gross income is, and then what all my deductions are that came out of my check. I document them in my own Google Sheet. You can use Google Sheet, you can use Excel, or you can go download the one that I use. You can use the exact one I use. It's free, download on my website. And then that's my income. So I know how much my income is. In orange, this orange section in the middle, those are all potential expenses. So that's your rent or your mortgage, your automobile expenses, daycare, food, groceries, all of that, every line item. We need to know what we're spending every month on these things. Now, you don't have every expense every month. And that's why this spreadsheet is broken down in columns. So each column is a different month and it's all in one view. And that's where I think my method is so different from many others, is because you can see everything that you're spending for a year in one view. So in January, I may pay my automobile insurance and I don't have to pay that again until June. I can easily see that in one view that, okay, this is what I have in January. This is what I have in June. Okay, back to school time for the kids. I know I need to buy their back to school clothes. Let me put extra $300 in my budget for August. November, I know I have gifts for Christmas. Let me give my little extra money there. So you can plan ahead for all of these things. That's key. I don't know how you're budgeting now, but if you can't see everything for the year in one, definitely try this. Try this. This is how people are saving $300 and $400 a month after being in the Wealthy Achiever program for 4 weeks, because they're able to see what they're spending more easily. And then we use mint.com to track every time we swipe the card. So every time we're swiping the card, it's accumulating in Mint and categorizing, okay, in groceries, you spent $300 this month. And eating out, you spent X amount. Okay, your cable bill was this amount. And that makes it easy to put things in the Google Sheet. So you're constantly checking and balancing. That's what you call managing your money. Okay, so if you're not doing that, If every time you swipe, you don't have something that's automatically categorizing what you're spending and you're looking at it every week, then you're not managing your money. Your money is managing you. Your card might be managing you. Okay. All right. So that's really the budgeting. So this is just some people, because I want you to know that this works for people. So Tanya's a consultant, saving at least $200 a month just from the budget portion. And then David here, attorney, completely manage the personal budget now, gain a clear line of sight as to the expenses and favorable change of our behavior. He used lawyer terms, y'all. I love David. He's very specific about what he's saying. It is an exceptional and a highly important learning experience that I highly recommend to everybody, because we're just not sitting tall. I mean, we spend in the Wealthy Achiever program is 4 weeks. We spend a whole week just on managing your money. All right. So the second part is marrying your 401k. Do y'all like my names? Marry your 401k. Everybody's heard of a 401k, but for some reason they're not teaching us how to invest the money. Like literally how to invest it. You know, it comes out of your check and then something happens behind the scenes. You don't even know because you don't go and make the trade. So you don't know, but you need to know. You need to know what the fees are, because every time they take money out of your paycheck and put it into your brokerage account, that 401k, guess what? It's putting that money into the stock market. You need to know what you're buying with it. You need to know what the fees are for what you're buying. Most workplaces buy mutual funds, and mutual funds have fees. There's a cost to them. Okay. So you need to know what those costs are. In the Wealthy Achiever program, we're going to go through your actual 401k statements to see what are your fees. How much are you paying? What are you investing in? Are you investing in something that aligns with you? Many people are not even they don't even know what they're even buying. I have no clue. You need to know, and I want you to know, and I want to help you to know. Okay. All right. So this just talks about some of the deferred savings that you probably not even aware of, why it's important to invest money in your 401k. Because so this person in the middle, no contributions at all to their 401k. The person on the right is contributing $12,000 a year. Guess, even though the person on the right is contributing $12,000 a year, they still are bringing home more money than the person who does not contribute at all. Facts. 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 Give me some thumbs up if you get that. If you understand that it may not make sense to you, but if you're hearing me, that investing actually brings home more money. So your paycheck may seem smaller, but when you add in what you're investing, you're actually making more money. All right. These are the things that we're just not taught that you need to know. All right. Yes. I love the thumbs up. Awesome. All right. So this is a person who was just getting started investing, getting everything set up, because I want to give you all the tools. So you got mint.com, you got personal capital, the group me. So we text each other through the phone, through the day. If you have questions, comments, it's kind of been quiet the last couple of weeks because there's not been a cohort going, but you always have access to it. Doing the workbook, I made a whole textbook, y'all. It's a textbook. I'm not even gonna lie, it's not a workbook. It's like everything you want to know. It's like 80 pages. It's crazy. It's a lot, but it's everything you need to know, and it's something you can pass down to your children. You don't want your children starting where you started, right? We want our children and our nieces and our nephews to start ahead of us. All right. All right. So the third step in getting ahead is calculating your retirement number, all right, and how to invest to reach that number. So I like to break down the stock market um, in a certain number of ways. Some people do what I like to call grocery cart investing. So let's say you go and you're looking at the stock market, and you say, "Oh, I can buy some Tesla, I can buy some Amazon, I can buy some Google." You just buying these different stocks and putting it inside of the um, grocery cart, right? Well, that's kind of cherry picking and coming up with your own investments, and you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. People do that and they do great. But you can, let's say that you're not very on the up and up about picking stocks, which is how I am. I'm not big on picking individual stocks. So I do something called index fund investing. So write that down, index fund investing. That's what I like to call this pinata. So if you remember those pinatas, very colorful unicorn, and the inside of the pinata is filled with candy and it's filled with all different types of candy. That's what an index fund is. A fund is like a pinata, and it has a little piece of all of the stocks that are in the stock market. So you can invest in the S&P 500 index fund, or you can invest in the Dow Jones total stock market index fund. And what that does is it helps you to be more diversified in your investments. Okay. So this is all like step 3, investing. And then you need to determine, well, how much do I need to be secure down the road? And there's a calculation to it. And we can talk about that if anybody has a question about that. But ultimately, you need to know, because everybody's number is different. Every single person. For me, oh, let me show you this. You can't see it well, but this is a chart that I made when I was on my path to fire. So I started this chart in 2018. And I wanted to mark down every month until I was going to reach my fire, which was June of 2022. That's when I was planning to early retire. Well, obviously I hit that a whole year earlier because I hit my number earlier. My number was 850K. So I have here 800 minimum and 900 max is what I needed to not work full time. So then I could still side hustle. I could sell my book. I could do speaking. I could do other little things to supplement my income, but I wouldn't need a full time job. So, you really need to sit down and do your budget so you know how much do you need to be financially secure. All right. So here's just a quick look at how I accumulated 750K in 4 years. Reduce my expenses, max my 401k, invested in stocks. It's a complete plan, right? And you can just see the stock market returns here. Okay. The stock market returns. Now, this year, let's say it, the stock market has not been very nice. But you know what I've been doing? Investing more. I've been investing more, okay? Because I have been making some money from my side hustles and I could afford to buy. I still have my emergency fund. I still am in a place where I don't have to sell stocks to live. So that allows me to still let that money grow and invest, okay? Grow and invest itself. So I want to give you a quick little example here of how you can reach 1 million. Okay. So here are 3 ways. If you are 40 years old and you have 25 years to invest, if you're investing in something that gives you 3% return and you're 40 years old, you'd have to invest $22.50 per month. That would be a stretch for a lot of people. Okay. But if, let's see if I can move take me off. Let's see if that's better. If here at the bottom, you choose investments that yield 9% yearly return, which is an index fund, not picking, but index fund, then you could reach that with $950 per month for 25 years. So $950 a month for 25 years to reach $1 million. Many people can do that. You would have to go in and move some stuff around and cut some things, but you could do it if you have a salary job, you have an emergency fund, you could side hustle up some extra money a month. You get your tax return, boom, you can put that in. So there's ways of doing it. You just have to be intentional and change your mindset to say, this is my goal, this is what I'm going to do. Okay? Give me a thumbs up if you're still with me. Give me some thumbs up. Okay, awesome. Sonia, Chantrice, Dr. Sonia, still with me. Good, good. DJ, awesome. So it's all about having a goal and what you know is possible from looking at me, from looking at the stories of other people who have done it, and saying, I know I can do this too. Because $1 million is kind of our goal, right? Most people say, oh, $1 million, that's it. So I want you to overcome the fear and be confident in yourself. Okay, have a plan, overcome the fear and be confident. So let's look at another example from the Wealthy Achiever program. This is Dominique. I love Dominique. Dominique came, she's an entrepreneur, and she said, I'm not managing my money. I want a plan. I need a plan. So she enrolled in the program. She was in the January cohort, and she was going crazy with the changes she made. So for example, let's see. She was able to cut 9.6% from her monthly budget. I love it. 9.6, just about 10%. If you were able to get 10% back into your budget just by getting rid of some things that you don't love, would you do it? Yeah. Who wouldn't like an extra 10% in their budget? And let me tell you, I'm not one of those people that's going to tell you that you need to get rid of cable and you need to get rid of this, you need to get rid of that. That's not my style. I'm going to tell you, we're going to go through, and I've got like 20 things that we go through, and you're going to be surprised how you're going to say, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need that. And then you're going to find ways to cut. It is going to be easy. It's going to be easy for you. Okay. And I know, again, it's like, oh, this is going to be hard. No, it's not. Change your mindset. I want you to say, this is going to be easy. This is going to be easy. All right. So if you're tired of making more money, but not getting ahead, concerned you aren't saving enough for your future, tired of the rat race. Okay. Tired. I know I was tired of it. I could never do enough. I had 40 research publications and my boss still was not happy. So you're here because you do want to be happy, healthy, and wealthy. You've talked to me about what you want to manage your money. You want to pay off debt. You know you're worthy of being wealthy, right? Let me hear it in the comments. I am worthy of being wealthy. You just need a plan. You just need a plan. Overcome fear and have a plan. Okay? All right. You went up from 120 to over 700. Yes. Yes, I did. Yes. Just want to ask me. Good. Somebody's paying attention. Okay. Okay. DJ's paying attention. In 2017, I had $125,000 in retirement accounts. And I started investing. And I started investing in 2017. I was doing the 10%, right? I had my 5% and I had my 5% match. But guess what? As soon as I learned about FIRE and I knew that the more I invested, so instead of investing 10% and spending 90, I wanted to flip it. I wanted to save 90 invest 90% and spend 10. Well, that didn't happen because that's impossible for me. That was impossible for me. But I was able to invest 60% of my income and live on 40% of my income. So when I was investing 60% for 4 years, then yeah, with the returns from the stock market, let me go back here. These returns from the stock market, you can easily see 21%, 4%, 32% return, 18%, 27% in 2021, people. The year 2021, year 2020 COVID, 20% back on your money. Now, this year, we have not seen those returns, but that just means it's time for me to buy. So that's what I've been doing. When it's down, I buy, and I let my money go for the long term. Okay. For the long term. I'm not trying to sell it next week. Some people do and they make lots of money. They could have cashed in and say, okay, I'm going to sell it, cashed in. They have to pay taxes. So make sure you know your tax implications, which we do talk about in the Wealthy Achiever program. But make sure that you have a plan. That's the most important thing. Okay, so good. I'm worthy of being wealthy. I'm worthy and need to stick to the plan. Yes, be intentional about your plan. Put your plan on, print it out. We have in the Wealthy Achiever program, we have like a 3-page document where you have everything planned out that you can keep with you, keep it by your bedside, look at it often so you know what you are going towards. All right. Yes. I have 7 years before I retire with 30 years. So I'm excited. We'll try to retire in 45 with fire. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I love to hear. So let me tell you a little bit more about the Wealthy Achiever program while you're here, because we start on May 1st with our next cohort. So May 1, and we have 9 spots left. We had 10. Somebody has already signed up, but I want to hear if you plan to sign up. I want to shout you out if you're here tonight, but let me tell you about it. So for 4 weeks, from May 1st to May 31st, we're going to work together side by side in a small group. Okay. And we're going to meet once a week on Thursday nights at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday nights, 4 Thursdays. Okay. And then you're going to have 12 months to use all the information, because every week you're going to go through a lesson. So we have 4 weeks of lessons. You're going to go through the lessons. We're going to meet. Even if you didn't get through all of it, we're still going to meet. We're going to go through your information. We're going to go through the questions you have. I'll be able to pull up different spreadsheets, pull up, different things about the stocks. We're going to go through the stock market, everything, comprehensive plan. Okay. You're going to have accountability with the group. You're going to have strategy. You're going to have a plan. So we've got over 30 different lessons within the 4 weeks, high quality videos, live Q&A replay. So every time I have a coaching call, I record it and I put the coaching call in there. So you've got hours and hours and hours of replays. My fire calculator. So remember, I was talking about you need to know how much you need. I created some calculators that you'll get access to. I do not sell my calculators anywhere. People always say, I want to work with you. Can I just do a one-on-one? I only do one-on-ones with people in the program because I just don't want to do a little piece with you. I want the complete strategy for you. Okay. So this is for you if you want to stop deciding between buying things that's just a few dollars apart. Has anybody been there? Like, oh, I don't know if I should get this one. This one's $10 more. I don't know if I should spend the $10. I want you to get to a point where you're thinking big and you have a big mindset, and wealth is how you're thinking, and you're going to be building generational wealth. All right. If you want to prepare to work less and to be work optional, so maybe you don't really want to retire early, but maybe you want to start that dance studio you always wanted to start. Maybe you want to start some nonprofit or a business, or just take a year off to travel. Maybe you just want to leave something Leave something for your heirs. Okay. This is for you then. This is not for you if you're looking for day trading. If you're looking for options, crypto, forex, that's not it. Okay. That's not what this is. Yes, if you're looking for passive income, yes, this is for you. If you're looking for, this is completely what we're doing is passive income. Okay. Let's see. This is not for you if you expect me to buy or sell your stocks for you. I'm not going to do that for you. I'm going to teach you and empower you, because if I don't teach you how to do it, how are you going to teach your children? How are you going to teach your nieces and nephews? We want to build up we want those that come behind us to do better than us. And so we have to teach them. So I'm going to teach you and you can teach them. If you are in massive debt, out of control credit card, and you cannot make ends meet, please do not purchase this. Do not do it. I want you to be in the program where you at least have you can pay your rent. I don't want anyone in here going into debt and can't pay their bills. Now, if you're tight, have a tight budget, but you can afford to pay it, then do it. We have a payment plan of just 2 payments, because I don't want to have you on some long payment plan, because that's not where we're trying to get you to go either. Okay. All right. Here's the curriculum again. It's 4 weeks. We're going to start off with that managing your money piece and dig into exactly teaching you how to do it. Then we're going to teach you how to max out those retirement accounts. We're going to go through IRAs. You may have a TSP. You may have a 403B. We're going to go through all of those. Week 3, open an investment account. Everybody's going to need an investment account at some point to retire early or to reach financial independence. You just are going to have to do it. And then week 4, we're going to create your financial plan. That's when you'll also work with all the bonuses that you'll have. So here is just a quick screenshot of how easy it is to navigate the membership area. So let's see how I can get, there we go. So the membership area, this is where all of your materials will be. It's broken down like in this singular format. You're just going to click each one and go through each one by one. And it tells you exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And it's very simple and easy to navigate. It's very clean. The videos are high quality. Here's an example here of the video walkthrough. So each week you're going to watch me giving you the information just similar to how it was today. And you'll do that on your own before we meet, so that when we meet for our group coaching, everybody knows the terminology. Everybody has already started looking at their own numbers, so that when we come together, we can really dig even deeper. Okay. It's better that way. Trust me. I've been a teacher for a long time, and this method works. All right. Then, again, you're going to get accountability because it's a group of like-minded people, just like the people who are here chiming in and in the chat, who want to be financially free. We have the Group Me app. We have our live coaching calls, which is the only way I work with people now. I do not do one-to-ones anymore. So ask yourself, is this for you? If it's for you, let me hear it in the chat. Okay. I want to know. Here's another testimonial here. World lady, for the first time since the day I took out my first student loan, I have a positive net worth. I never really looked at net worth until I finished your bundle of classes, but I have been watching it ever since, and I'm ecstatic at hitting this achievement. How good does that feel to have a positive net worth for the first time? I love it. That's the power of the Wealthy Achiever program. This part is for all those who say they needed more income. I want to teach you, as Karen says here, how to fish. My book was one of the ways that really, really, really helped me create additional income to invest and save. Okay. I teach you exactly how to do your book. Exactly how to publish your book. Also, how the stock market makes millionaires. So it's like a little mini course of how compound interest works, how dividends work, capital gains work, like all that terminology in a really easy a really easy to understand way. And then there's another bonus that everybody loves in the program, which is the Microsoft Analytics course. My PhD is in analytics. Okay, I have a PhD in analytics, and I taught Microsoft Excel, the advanced analytics, to MBA students for years. So this is just completely in my wheelhouse. So I know how to break it down. You get a workbook, you get all the files, easy to understand for you to work through and watch the video along with it. It's all of this is way more than $97 in these videos. So I want you to join today. This is for you. This program is for you. I'm hearing everybody in the chat. Don't wait. Let's do it, because you get 12 months of access, all the high quality videos, hours and hours of replays, 4 live group sessions with me for 4 weeks in a row. We're going to overhaul your finances in the 4 weeks, okay? That's what we're going to do. So, the 4-week coaching program is what I think is the best, obviously, value, because we're going to work together and you're going to get every one of your questions answered. And the price of it is $15.97. That's 4 weeks with Dr. Keisha. I don't even do one-on-ones anymore. And it's going to be going through your plan. All right. We have 9 seats left for the May 1st cohort, just 9 seats. All right. So until Thursday, I'm going to go ahead and have it the $15.97, and then it's going to go back up to its regular price, which is the $19.97 price. Okay. On this weekend. So don't wait till the last minute. Let's just go ahead. And if you're on the fence, don't be on the fence. It's time. If you say, well, Dr. Keisha, that's out of my budget, because I'm all about budgets, you can still get into the self-paced option, and it's $4.97 until Thursday. And you can still get all the modules. Okay. You can still get all the modules, and you can sign up for either one of those at theachieveher.com. So I just am putting the link into the comments. So go to theachieveher.com to sign up for either one of the options. The on your own self-paced option doesn't include the group coaching or the bonuses, but you're going to get the budget bestie, the marry your 401k, and the trading stocks, okay? How to open investment accounts and all that. If you have questions, please drop them in the chat so I can answer your questions, okay? So here's just another testimonial, Jarlisha. Her investing rate jumped from 8% to 18% by the end of the 4 weeks. She knew what she was doing. She was empowered. She had a complete plan. She wasn't just willy-nilly investing. She knew what her long-term plan was. Just imagine what that would feel like to be investing 18% of your income a month. That feels pretty good, right? She said, I never attended a workshop that shared a whole picture or step by step on how to accomplish the ultimate financial goal, retiring early. She said it provides a methodical approach to discuss, let's do this, and the complexities of the IRA. If you've heard of all the different types of IRAs, then you already know there's a lot to it. But I like to break it down in really easy to understand ways, okay, so that you can take advantage of the stock market. Okay, so let's see. We have some questions here. Let's see. When is the next cohort? The next cohort is May 1st. And then after that, the next cohort will be sometime in the fall class, because I'm going to take the summer off. I'm going to take off June and July for sure. And let's see what else we have. Do you have a payment plan for the fall cohort. So maybe those interested can pay ahead for the fall class. You can go ahead and start the payment plan now. And there is just 2 payments though. It's not 3 or 4 or 5 payments. It's just 2 payments, and you'll already be in. And then if you don't want to actually come to any of the coaching calls right now, you don't have to. You always can attend coaching. So I have people from January that come to the weekly coaching. I have people from the March cohort that come to the weekly coaching. You always can come to the coaching. All right. So you can pop in and out. That's not something that you're just stuck only for those 4 weeks. Okay. Can't do the May. When's the next one? Likely in the fall. So we don't have a date yet, but it will likely be in the fall. Okay. So let's get you signed up if you're interested before these 9 seats go. We haven't posted anything on social media yet about it. Which we will be doing tomorrow. We'll be posting on social media, and so I know the seats will be going quickly then. But if you've been on the fence and you know this is for you, then let's do it. Let's work together. Men are welcome. Men and women are welcome to attend. Now, let's see, we need to give out our book bundle as well while people are getting signed up, because I see people on the website now. I can easily see that. So good. Get signed up at theachieveher.com. And while we're doing that, let's go ahead and give out the book bundle. And we have Paviel who's on here who's been doing the pick for the book bundle. So she'll give me a name. Thank you, Latrice. And if you have more questions, you're welcome. You're so welcome. If you have any other questions, you can pop those in the chat while we are waiting to give out the book bundle. Let's see who the winner is. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. You are welcome, Angie. Okay, and our winner is Sonia Williams. Is Sonia Williams still on? And it looks like we're going to do 2 tonight. Sonia Williams and Karen Lewis. So Karen Lewis, are you still on? Karen Lewis and Sonia Williams. Let's type that in. Karen Lewis. Sonia. Oh. Yeah, there's Sonia. Okay. Sonia and Karen. Please go to my website, LakishaSimmons.com. Fill out the contact form and let me know that you were the winner, and give me your address so that I can mail your book bundle to you. So you both won the Wealthy Achiever book bundle. It comes with a fancy diamond pen because we love wealth and we deserve it. And it comes with a luggage tag, a Wealthy Achiever luggage tag, a book, and you'll get access to the online course materials for the book bundle. All right. So if there are no more questions, please get signed up for the Wealthy Achiever program, the May cohort. If you've been on the fence, now's the time to do it. Don't wait. And I look forward to welcoming you to the May cohort. Take care, everyone. Congrats, Sonia. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.